Hello everyone, so in this video I will be introducing you to the skull. So the skull is a very important piece of information to know if you're interested in drawing and painting the portrait. The skull is the underlying structure to any portrait you're likely to draw or paint. We go through the general proportions of the skull. I give you some abstraction lines to help you construct the skull. We go through the structure, some planes of the skull as well, and then we go into shadow mapping, and shadows actually help to reveal the forms to you. So it'll give you an extra layer of understanding of the skull, okay? Eventually you want to get to the point where you can draw a pretty convincing skull just out of your head. That's when you'll know that you truly understand the skull. So here is a 3/4 view of a drawing of the skull, and I hope you enjoy the video. Okay, welcome everyone. So today we're going to be working on the 3/4 view of the skull. Okay, so I'm going to start, as I always do, with the top of the head. Bring it down a little bit. Come in with the bottom of the chin, which I probably think is going to be about there. Okay, and then I'm just going to come in with that big shape of the cranial mass. Again, coming in with big, non-committal lines. Like that. Coming down to the front of the face, I'm going to come in with the side plane of the head. A line down the center of that side plane to give me where roughly the jaw is going to sit. Give me the center line of the face like that. Brow line, nose line. Remember that the thirds are a little bit off in the skull. They're not going to be exact to the average proportions of someone's face. The skull's a little bit less equal than that in terms of thirds. Okay, so just coming in, starting to ghost in my lines. Got that tooth cylinder. Again, you can really see in this view how cylindrical and rounded that tooth cylinder shape is. I'm going to come in and find that nasal bone, then the nasal cavity. It's going to be about there somewhere. Got that eye socket coming in there, comes across to the other side. Eye socket comes in there. So again, just starting to try and build the drawing from nothing can really be quite a daunting thing to do. And also you're going to, chances are, get a lot of placement and proportional things incorrect to start with, which is why we come in with very non-committal lines first, so that if we do make a mistake, we can fix it. We can remove the lines and put better lines in their place. If I came in too dark, I wouldn't be able to do that. So I'm already seeing kind of some proportional issues with this drawing and placement issues. But at this stage, I'm not too fussed about that. I will be in a second once I get the general shapes in, because once the general shapes in, then I can start to push things around and bend things to what I'm looking at so that they're more accurate to what I see. So now I can start coming in and bending shapes around so that they're more accurate to what I'm seeing here. Get that nasal bone in there. Got the zygomatic bone coming in here, coming back towards that zygomatic arch, and we get a really good view of that zygomatic arch in this 3/4 pose. Zygomatic arch comes back, ends about there. Coming into that mandible, and at this stage I'm also coming in not only just trying to shift the proportions around, but also trying to get those little shapes in there. Like I came in and added that little notch down there at the base of the mandible. There's something about this eye socket that's not, these eye sockets aren't quite doing it for me, and I think it's maybe they're too low a little bit. Coming in and putting that brow ridge in. Get that cranial mass in there. Okay, so I think that's looking more accurate in terms of proportions. Maybe the head's a bit wide. Or the jaw was a bit wide, but yeah, that's looking better to me, I think. So now that I've got that general placement and proportions, I'm going to come in and add a few more of those abstraction lines and a few more topographic and planes, topographic lines and planes. Okay, so I'm coming in with that frontal lobe of the forehead there and comes into that glabella, coming in and reaffirming that brow ridge. I'm going to come in and create that line that shows how the zygomatic bone comes in and sort of is more concave around the muzzle area. I'm going to come in with that line that shows where the mouth area, or the area just below the nasal cavity, starts to protrude into the tooth cylinder. Again, from this view, you can really see that protrusion of the tooth cylinder as it comes round, down, and out for the chin. I'll come in and add those side planes. We've got the front of the mouth there, got the chin, front plane of the mouth, side plane of the mouth. Okay. Then I'm going to wrap some topographic lines coming down the forehead. So it comes down like that. Again, noticing how the lines kind of come down, wrapping around that big cylindrical shape of the cranial mass. Then we come out for the brow ridge, come straight in like that for the eye sockets. Come out and down for the zygomatic bone. In fact, we could also put another line out here just to really emphasize that form. From this angle, we kind of come out, dip into that shape where the muzzle is, and then come out like that. In fact, I might get rid of this line here and just make that all one line, showing you that topographic kind of form there. Do the same on the other side. Come down, out, in, forward, and down like that. Wrap those horizontal topographic lines inwards towards the inside of the eye socket there, come out into that cylindrical part of either side of the eye sockets. We've got cylinders also in that shape of the zygomatic arch. We could wrap a line round this way, carry the brow back that way, just to show the wrapping vertically and horizontally around the contour of that, all around the volume of that cranial mass. Put that voma in. Okay, so now that I've got all that information in there, it gives us a nice understanding of that overall structure. I'm going to come back in and just reaffirm some of my lines. So putting a few more committal lines into my drawing now. We've got that anterior nasal spine down in the nasal cavity there. We come up into the cavity, come into that eye socket, nasal bone, opening of the eye socket on that side. I think that zygomatic bone is just a little bit too low, so I'm going to bring that up a bit higher. And come down into that rectangle shape of the chin and just really emphasize that shape. Okay, so really starting to get a feel for that overall structure of the skull. And that's this is kind of the place I kind of want you to get your drawing to, is this place here. Okay, so I don't really want you to go well, I do want you to go further than this. I want you to also do the shadows as well that I'm going to put in a second. But I also want you to, when you start to recreate these drawings and trying to do them from memory, I want you to, when you create them from memory, I want you to just get this information down here. Don't worry too much about the shadows. Again, the shadows just help to enhance your understanding of these individual planes, of these topographic lines that wrap around the forms. So you don't actually have to recreate the shadows, you just have to recreate all this information from memory, okay? As best you can. Again, it can be a very generic version of a skull, it doesn't have to be proportionally exactly accurate to this skull, as long as it's in the ballpark, and as long as the overall structure is there, then that shows that you understand the general shapes and proportions of the skull. And that will again just really improve your overall portrait drawings and portrait paintings, because you'll have that understanding of the underlying structure. Okay, so now I'm going to come in and start to add my shadows. I'm going to briefly interrupt this video just to let you know that there is currently over 50 hours of portrait painting and portrait drawing demonstrations available on my Patreon. In the painting demonstrations, we cover the basic palette from the phthalo blue, black and white palette, the burnt umber and white palette. Then we start to go a little bit more chromatic with the Zorn palette, and then eventually into the full color palette. I'm currently in the process of creating a drawing course. I'm releasing one drawing demonstration per week. That's where we go over the essentials of portrait drawing, because in order to be a good portrait painter, you need to know how to draw well. We start off with the Loomis head, going into the Riley method, the Asaro head, we go into the skull, we go into the individual features of the face, teaching you the anatomy and underlying structure of each feature. And then I lead you into a fully fledged drawing where we go into the initial laying of a drawing all the way through to the finished rendering. So if that's something that interests you, go to patreon.com/Lewis Meader and you'll get all this content and all of the upcoming videos for just £9.99 per month. So if you want to level up your portrait painting and drawing skills, follow the link in the bio to my Patreon. Thank you. Okay, so I'm going to come up to the same place we started last time and up into that glabella. We've got that really firm edge along that glabella there. So the light is coming from the same exact place as it was last time. The light is coming from above, directly from above. That firm shadow in there. Again, remember it's firm, well, hard-edged because of that very drastic plane change and that really sharp edge along there. Coming into that nasal cavity. Cast shadow comes along, down, into that deeper aspect of that eye socket there. And we've got a shadow running along the zygomatic bone. That comes down, along, and up. Disappears behind that nasal bone. Going to come down into that cast shadow off of the anterior nasal spine. Bring it across, over, and down into that tooth cylinder. Okay, now I'm going to come into the nasal bone. It's going to wrap round, down. There's a cast shadow coming off that glabella. Okay, and we've got a shadow cast shadow coming into that eye socket there. It comes up, fills that eye socket. We've got a little bit of a firm shadow up here, and then it hardens up along there. Okay, so we're going to come in and add the form shadow along the other zygomatic bone. Again, you can really see the cast shadow coming down. Revealing that form just above that tooth cylinder. Then we got that form shadow wrapping around zygomatic bone, down, and along the zygomatic arch, like that. And so we come down to the tooth cylinder, and again, with the tooth cylinder, I'm not going to be drawing every single tooth individually. I'm just going to be indicating some of the teeth and letting the shadows kind of do the work for me here. So I can come in and add a few of the gaps between the teeth just to really really show that there are, the teeth are coming in to play here. So it's just basically indicating that there are teeth under here, and it does actually give that effect that there are teeth here. I just haven't bothered coming in and drawing each tooth out individually, but it still reads well. So there's a cast shadow that comes down off of that zygomatic bone, down the side here into the teeth, and it continues down into the mandible, like that. And so these teeth here, basically what we've got is a bit of a cast shadow, mainly coming off the sort of the front teeth here, not so much down the teeth on this, in this plane here, more so just coming off of these teeth. In fact, I may go as far as to just leave those teeth indicated like that, to be honest, because again, I don't want to confuse the tooth cylinder too much. I want to just give it a nice simple read. So I might just leave the tooth cylinder like that, okay? I think the shadows up here help to reveal the form really well. Down here in the teeth, a little bit less so, I'd say. Maybe we could just come in and put a little bit of the shadow coming off them teeth like that, but I want to keep it very simple, just literally do that and then not really do much else with it. I might come in and indicate maybe the top, the bottom, kind of where those teeth sort of insert into the jawbone. Maybe even come in occasionally and indicate the gaps in the teeth along the bottom. Again, try not to make those shapes too similar. Okay, so I'm going to come onto that area below the teeth here. Like that, and then we can come in, add that little shadow coming along the bottom of the chin there, and that kind of wraps around. Like that. This cast shadow coming off the zygomatic bone comes into the mandible up surrounding this coronoid process, which is basically this sort of Y shape in the mandible here. And the shadow kind of disappears like that, but we've got a really big cast shadow coming down onto this jaw here. Okay, so we've got a little bit of a shadow up here, and again you can really see how this shadow up here has got quite a soft edge to it. And again, that's just showing us how there's a very slow transition plane-wise around the cranial mass. The transition here is a lot less sudden than, for example, the transition here. So it's going to have a lot softer edge to it than this is. There's a little bit of shadow coming into the base of the cranium. It'll come down into that little notch area here. Okay, so I think that's pretty much it for the 3/4 view for the skull. So we've got a nice solid drawing here using the shadows to sort of reveal the forms to us again. That's kind of what we're aiming for, okay? That's what we want out of this exercise. Don't want to turn it into a rendering exercise where we come in and start shading. We just want to keep it to this stage because that's the main bit of pieces of information that we want to draw from this exercise, okay? So I'll be back with the profile view in just a second.